Hello, my name is Alcy, and this is going to be an hour-long yin video. So if you are interested in slowing down and tuning in, I've designed this sequence specifically for kind of going inward, withdrawing the senses, and just kind of being in that space of inner reflection and taking cues from deep within. Something that I found, and I'll share a little wisdom that I was able to learn this past weekend, is that life is more complicated from afar. It's really easy to get stressed and get worried and get ahead of yourself in your mind when you think about, what could be, what is it going to be like, what's coming next, what do I need to prepare for. And to a certain extent, that's important, right? It's important to have foresight. It's important to think ahead and plan. But I think there is a balance of being able to stay rooted in what we know to be true, what we know is going right, what is so right now, and how we can use that knowledge and that groundedness in the present to be prepared to open ourselves up to what could come. We don't know yet. I think this need for yin right now is really inspired by my need for yin right now. I was just talking to my mom, and she goes, "We need to work out. We need to work hard." And I'm like, "I think tomorrow. I think I'll do a more fiery flow tomorrow. But for now, find a comfortable space." Hopefully you've got either your bed, or I would suggest the floor, because it's the hard surface is a little more conducive to deep, longer stretches. I'm using cookbooks as a block. There's a couple poses that will be helpful to have like a harder surface. You could use novels. Some of you have yoga blocks. You could use that. I'm trying to think of other hard things. Play around with what you might have in your house that is, rectangular and hard, that you're not going to break by pushing on. I say books is like a pretty good, readily available thing. And then I like to have a pillow. This will come in handy, and you'll understand why in the sequence. And just another little nice pillow. I've also got a blanket handy in case I need a little extra cushion somewhere. So getting prepared, we'll start in a seat just to ground and kind of set our intention for this going inward. This sequence is inspired by Kurma, by the tortoise. Turtles have this amazing ability to draw inward for protection, but also to save their energy. It's kind of a special skill, I would say, and it's something that for me right now is really, really speaking to me, because I find it really easy when I'm in isolation, when I'm in my own space, to go on the internet and share with friends and reach out and talk. And it feels energizing. One part of me, it feels really energizing. And then the other part starts to very quickly get drained. So I think that other part is probably my higher self saying, hey, there's a part of you that needs to not put all your energy out of yourself. I think there's a part of me that needs to water the seed within, if you will. So I would like to take that inspiration from our four-legged friend, the tortoise, and set that intention for today. So finding a comfortable seat just for a few minutes, we'll do a little kind of grounding meditation. I was going to do a mudra, but Kurma mudra is a little crazy. I don't know. What do you think? You think we can try it? You kind of got to hear my directions, but look at your hands. So this is Kurma mudra. Mudra are just yoga for your hands. They're another way to connect to energy and get the all the different element channels in the body really wired in and flowing with each other. It's great for removing blocks and just kind of going straight to the center. So you got to make the rock on sign. And then I want you to take your right hand, and this is when you have to shift your awareness, looking down at your hands. Take your right hand, palm down over your left. So you're keeping this symbol, rock on, but palms face each other. Right hand's on top. Now look at your hands. Your top thumb The thumb that is closest to your face, place it on your bottom wrist. Your top index finger, your top hand, we're making all the movements with the top hand, connect to your bottom thumb. Your top little finger, bring it to your bottom index finger. And this is Kurma Mudra, so you've got a little free tail. The bottom pinky finger should be free, and you've got this kind of teepee tent-like setup. This is our tortoise. This is our symbol for retreating in, withdrawing senses. If that was really confusing and you're not quite there, I'll give you one more go of it. So we've got this rock-on symbol, middle fingers and ring fingers tucked in. Just trying it out with me. Top thumb, right hand faces down, left hand faces up. Top thumb to the bottom wrist. Top index finger to bottom thumb. And top little finger to bottom index finger. The bottom little finger is free. All right. Let your shoulders settle, let your arms settle, let your spine weigh. Observing any sounds that are far away from you. And just narrowing that field of view, that field of awareness. Any sounds that are in the room with you. And any sounds happening directly around your body or inside your body. The sounds of breath, digestive sounds, heart sounds, thought sounds. If you haven't already closed your eyes, you can close your eyes. Just notice what you see with eyes closed, or if you choose to keep eyes open, observe what's right in front of you with soft focus, soft vision. Notice any smells, any tastes in the mouth. Any and all physical sensation connected to external sources like clothing, the surface that you're sitting on, the air around you. And then start to drop into the body, relaxing effort in your palms, your wrists, your fingers as much as possible. Relax effort through your seat, your legs, your feet. Soften the belly. Soften the features of the face. You might swallow or stretch the mouth a little bit just to really notice what effort is and then notice what softness is. Allow your breath to relax completely. Travel inward, past the layer of skin, past the bubble of mental thoughts, anything that might be kind of keeping you from your divine self, your higher self, the self that has qualities that we probably have deep down, but has qualities that we strive for, right? That ability to be decisive and calm and relaxed. Allow yourself to access this space. Listening deeply to the messages from within, the sounds of breath, any visualizations, any visions that are appearing now, any smells, any tastes, anything that you sense in a physical realm or in a metaphysical realm on the inside. Observe the feeling of your body floating in space, supported by the gentle pulsation of air moving in and out of the body. I'm going to try and remember to offer a more energetic breath exercise at the end. Optional, of course. But for now, throughout the poses to come, find a relationship with your breath that supports the experience that your body and your heart and your mind are going through. So if you got to take deep breaths and sigh it out, do it. If you find yourself pretty much keeping a more shallow, relaxed, low-key breath, that's fine. Come back to the feeling in the hands, the shape. Go ahead and thank the turtle energy for sharing this moment with us. As you release the hands, notice the lingering feelings, the sensations of connection. You can place your hands palms up or palms down on your legs. And just letting that feeling pass. All right. So just so you know, I've got my phone up here, but I'm just using it for a timer. So I'll be just keeping track of the time so the shapes remain consistent. And this first pose is going to be really nice. It's going to be a thoracic bridge. It's going to be a supported back bend. So a couple options. You could take a very supportive pillow. Like this is from my couch, and this is a pretty supportive pillow. It's got a good amount of give to it. You can lay yourself down. You might just be able to put your head right on the floor. But I like having these other things available for extra support. And I don't really care what you do with your legs. You can plant your feet, bring your knees together. You can find supine butterfly. You can extend your legs. You can bring your arms wherever you like here. I'm going to start the timer for 5 minutes. And if you're still kind of getting sorted, still getting situated, that's fine. You're also welcome to pause the video and get situated and then play it again. So this is one option. I just want to put the other option out there because I mentioned it at the beginning. Cookbooks or books with a pillow over top. It just creates a different kind of boundary, right? It's a harder surface. It's going to create a different kind of support. So plug into whatever support you want here. We're just looking for a sense of space across the chest, maybe a stretch across the shoulders. Some people feel this through the solar plexus, the upper belly. As soon as you can, drop into stillness. Yin Yoga is a practice where a lot of stuff can happen and you barely need to do anything. If what I just said really resonated with you, made you vibrate with a little joy, then this is the practice for you. If you heard that and said, oh God, no, I gotta move my body, then find something else today. Because this is gonna be real slow, real subtle. You might notice that you start to get uncomfortable. I just noticed a pain in one of my knees, so I'm shifting to get more comfortable, but I'm keeping the same space. I'm staying relaxed across my chest and my neck and my shoulders. It's important in a yin practice to relax the muscles around the space that's being stretched. So if you're feeling a really gentle opening from shoulder to shoulder here, maybe a little stretch across the center of the chest or the upper abdomen, then relax your belly, soften your heart into the support beneath it, relax your arms, and let your head be heavy. We're halfway through. Do your best to stay focused on the sensations within, staying grounded in that sense of inward observation, inward expression. So however the self on the inside is choosing to express itself right now, whether it's a different breath, or maybe you can sense really in a subtle way the shifting of sensation, the shifting of tissues across the chest. Great, lean into that. Got about 45 more seconds here. We'll let the bell be the cue to transition out of the shape. Sliding the feet, see I'm wiggling my toes a little bit, bringing the knees to one side or the other, it doesn't matter which. Really gently, you don't want to jar the body too much. You're going to lay down on the side just for a minute. Observe the process that your body naturally follows to unwind and come back to a neutral feeling. We call this process the rebound, the aftermath, the moment after the shape. We're going to do 2 minutes. We're already a minute through, so just another few breaths here to be still and watch how the body resets itself, what that process is like for you today. And then really gently start to make your way up to a seat, or at least up onto all fours. Moving the props aside so you've got some space to find child's pose. So this one generally will be hips to heels. I want to offer the option here of bringing a pillow underneath your chest. Some people can kind of thread the arms underneath them. Other people like to bring the arms by their sides or extend the arms forward. This will be a 3-minute shape, so taking your time. This is almost like a natural counter pose to that back bend we just did, but also letting this be a stretch for your hips, an opportunity to kind of settle into the lower energy of the body, letting your seat and your legs and your back relax. If this is not feeling possible or good on the body to sit all the way down on the heels, some people don't have that space. You can either put a little support right here, that's one option, or you can just shift the weight a little forward, toes tucked or not, but just finding some sort of version here for yourself of folding inward. Imagine the outline of your body blurring into the space around you, into your connection with the earth, into your connection with the air, the bubble of air around you. Think about doing less and less with every breath. When you feel ready, so slowly start to walk yourself out. Setting any props to the side for now. Coming up to a seat, comfortable seat. So we'll set up for, we're going to do 2 shapes on the right side and then do those same 2 shapes on the left side. So let's see how I set this up earlier. Ooh, it can be nice to have the books, that harder surface. Some people can just kind of ball up a pillow, that might be enough. But I really like that hard surface. And I like to have another pillow by my head for this one. Let's do right hip to the ground first, and then right rib cage down. And you're just gonna lay yourself over the support, and it could be the books, or you could have a pillow rolled up. I like the hard surface because it really creates more space. It creates kind of a stronger effect in this shape. So I want to have my phone nearby me for time. We're going to do 3 minutes each side here, 3 minutes each side of this pose. So kind of lowering yourself down. You can either keep your head supported with your hand, you can bring your head down to the floor or your arm. I like to use a pillow. That really feels good for me. My top leg usually likes to stretch out here, so play around with that, but you can keep your legs together. And then play around with that top arm. Let this be a stretch for the top half of the body here. Some people really get this strong in the upper chest, the ribs, the hip. So really anywhere along that part of your body. Sometimes the back of the arm or the shoulder if you're extending your arm overhead. Let's go ahead and start that 3-minute timer now. And if you're using books, you might be laying on the surface in a way that's, maybe hitting a nerve or pinching. Try and find that sweet spot. I've seen some people practice this pose kind of rolling their chest open a little bit more. That's totally up to you. Just looking for some sensation along the outside, the top half of the body here. And then just as a turtle does when it sneaks into its shell for protection to save energy, right? It's still. It remains still. Now, I'm not saying that you can't move around, that you can't shift. But when you really get into Yin Yoga, when you really start to practice these principles of stillness, finding a stretch, and giving yourself time, stillness becomes a really important part, because in stillness, you can see yourself more clearly. In stillness, we have an opportunity to clear away some of the noise, clear away some of the fuzz that gets in the way from seeing our true selves sometimes, seeing what's really happening. We've got just over 30 more seconds in this shape. Let these next few exhales allow you to lean into it, soften effort, almost like a free fall. What clarity, what opportunity can you catch here? Start by taking whichever arm is on top and just pushing it down into the floor in front of you until you can bring that bottom arm underneath. So important to move slowly here. You're going to bring yourself back up to a seat and extend your left leg. Now if the computer and my recording of this is getting confusing at all, just listen to the words. So we just rolled over onto the right side. Now we're going to extend the left leg. So the opposite action of that stretch you just did, opening up left side body, will now to be open up right side body. So I want you to extend your left leg. Maybe the right knee bends and comes in. If this isn't comfortable on your hips, you can also try something like this. You can do this. You can also do this. So just putting that out there for anyone whose hip joints are oriented a little differently. We're just folding over this extended leg. So once you start to fold in, looking for a sensation in two places, and it might be more or less in these two places. First will be underside of that extended leg. Ooh, I need to extend this leg. I'm not going to use this pillow. And the other place you might get sensation is the back body here, anywhere across the back, the shoulder, the neck. I'm going to get creative with my water bottle here because I know that I like this support. And you could be folding yourself inside the leg, maybe a little bit more forward, maybe a little bit outside the leg. Look for a sensation that you like, or at least a sensation that is prevalent to you, that shows up. And when you can, go ahead and tap into that stillness. Tap into that sense of doing less, making yourself available to perhaps feel more, or at least sense more. Do your best to relax through the underside of your extended leg. Relax your seat and your belly and your low back. If you're someone who maybe has issues with folding forward, you could be experiencing sciatica or lower back pain or fusions or had surgery. You can keep the stretch in the leg, keep the spine long, and just take that rounding out of the back. That might be a nice way to be in this shape if you've got issues folding. Just allowing the leg and the hip to be soft. Got about 30 more seconds here. Notice how the exhales really just settle. As slow as you can, start to roll yourself up. If you've got one leg tucked in, go ahead and open it out like I have here. Just going to bring the hands behind you. We're just going to spend 1 minute here. You're welcome to sit in stillness. You're welcome to move your neck, your shoulders around a little bit. You're welcome to windshield wiper your legs or stretch your feet and your ankles if you feel called to. This is a good time to drink water. And then what we'll do from here is just take your setup for that side stretch, and we're just going to move it to the other side. So this time, your left rib cage should be going down, and the right side of your body will be pointing up. taking my supplies with me here. Okay. So, again, some people like to bring this really close to their hip. That's one option. Some people like to bring it a little bit more forward. Play around with it. Experiment with the placement of that bottom support. Play around with, any support you might need for your head. And then get curious about your legs. How can you arrange the legs to find a degree of sensation through the body that really works for you? You don't want too much. You don't want to be struggling for 3 minutes in this pose, wishing that it was over. But I also don't want you to feel nothing. So find that happy medium. Find a version here that really just highlights the outside edge of the body, the top side of the body. Find a position where you don't have to hold yourself. Sometimes when you're kind of rocking, you can feel, oh, I'm holding onto my pelvis to keep myself here. Try and relax into it. I feel like this bell is just asking to get rung right now. So I'm gonna ring it for ya. We've got just over a minute left here. If you need a little bit more or a little less support under you, you can always add more books or take some away or change the orientation of your pillow. Think of this practice like you're getting to know yourself. You might be experiencing shapes that you've never done before. You might be experiencing sensations in your body that you don't usually feel. See if you can welcome that exploration internally, for the most part, with an open heart. Try not to decide ahead of time what you're going to do or how it's going to be. Practice being present with what is. Can anyone still hear this bowl? I can still feel it. It's definitely still ringing. Woo. Starting to leave the shape when you're ready. Oh, yeah. This time we'll extend the right leg. And I am going to take a little pillow under this. I do like to have that. Be mindful of the spaces in your body that you just opened. Try not to stress them out or do too much too quickly. So now we're going to do the left, open up the left side. This can start really small. You can literally just boom, and you might feel something. Or maybe, just leaning towards that leg, just reaching your heart towards your right big toe. Maybe you're already getting a stretch. That's great. I'll give you a couple moments just to get settled. Pick what kind of stretch you like here, what kind of version of this that you want to be in. For those of you, really growing out and settling yourself in, if you've got a little bit more flexibility in your spine and your hamstrings and your back, then just see that you're not pulling yourself in. Sometimes we have this approach to forward folds where we hold on and we squeeze the whole time. You might be holding on to your foot, you might be holding on to your ankle, but find a version of this where the underside of your right leg can relax. Your two sit bones and the flesh beneath them, your glute muscles can soften. Your shoulders can spread. Relax your jaw. Consider all the energy we conserve when we sleep and all the energy that we build up. Consider all the energy that you conserve when you're in a conversation and you choose not to speak. You choose not to voice the thought in your mind. Consider what the opposite of action holds, what the power in stillness and doing nothing truly holds. And I'm not saying don't act. I'm not saying don't reach out to your representatives, to your governors, to your people who are responsible for your well-being in a way. But what does stillness bring? That's my big question here. What can stillness offer? Staying in this space of reflection for just 1 or 2 more breaths. Notice how it feels just to be with yourself, no other requirements. Good. I've got 2 more shapes planned, but I want to offer now a rebound, a moment to be still. If you want to sit, you can sit. We're going to do 3 minutes. So you can sit or you can lie down. I'm personally going to get pretty comfortable, I think, for now. And just being mindful as you transition into this neutral position, whatever it is. Observe the parts of you that have just, experienced some stretching, some opening. Bring yourself back into a neutral state physically as best you can, and then just notice again that natural process of coming back to neutral. The body is such an intelligent life force, such an intelligent organism. Allow your body to show you how it resets. And I mean this in the most subtle ways, right? Just the back of your right leg right now. Notice how it might feel still a little stretched, a little vulnerable, a little fragile. As each breath passes, as time goes on, notice how your whole body undergoes change. And all you have to do, all you get to do, is watch. From here, making your way to your side. If you're in a seat, you can stay in the seat. We're going to do Anahatasana, melting heart, also known as puppy pose. See, I've got a lot of props around right now. I like to pad my knees, but you don't have to. Ideally here, the knees are underneath the hips, but I'm talking more about the alignment of hips over knees. Your knees can be any width, so they can be wide, they can be close. Yeah, I'm feeling knees wide today. You gotta go with the feelings. And then start to walk your arms forward. I like to set my elbows down. And then I like to extend my arms. Maybe my forehead will come to the floor today. Yeah, it seems like we got that. But some of you are going to be more here, and that's fine. Some of you will really appreciate those cookbooks. Some of you might be here. You might be really stretched out. Maybe the chin is even forward. The goal of this pose is to stretch the belly, stretch the heart, and stretch the inside of the shoulders. So just letting those spaces open gradually. No need to force it or go full ahead really fast. We're gonna all get somewhere. And this is gonna be a 3-minute pose. You might have already noticed that your breath has changed in a way. The lungs are also a very intelligent life force in the body. They will adjust to the position and the physical state, the physical exercise that your body is doing. So just changing the shape now into melting heart, into puppy pose. Notice how the breath may have shifted, even in a subtle layer, level. Without a ton of effort here, allow your tailbone to gently lift. Feel the bowl of your pelvis drop down below your navel, so you're just allowing your seat to tilt up, your belly to heavy down. Let your heart be heavy. Relax across your shoulders. If this is ever too intense, sometimes just bending the elbows a little more is a good way to alleviate that. And if you need more, either really extending the arms or even looking forward is one way to get a little bit more out of this. We'll do just one more minute here. Give it 1 or 2 more breaths, a sort of free fall, a letting go of effort, physical, mental, and emotional effort. Let your next breath roll out your mouth. Very slowly here, you're going to put a little bit more weight into your head, walk your arms back underneath your shoulders, and with as little effort as possible, Ooh, I have to say that was a lot to come up to a seat. You might want to go to a child's pose first. My head is like, ooh. lot happening with visually, right? Not a lot going on. I love that about yin. You don't have to make a lot of crazy shapes, but there sure is a lot happening within. So really honoring the energy of the turtle here. Oh, we're right on time. I love it. We're going to do one last pose before some deep relaxation. And this pose is, let's call it a dragonfly archetype. So I want you to find some sort of stretch in your inner thighs, and I'd love for you to find some sort of stretch across your back and your spine. Maybe it's shoulders, maybe it's more lower back. So something across the spine and something in the inner thighs. So some people really find it here. Granted, you might look like this and be feeling just as much as someone who's doing this. Doesn't matter what it looks like, and how great that we're online, right? No one's super worried about that anyway. You could separate your feet, getting that inner thigh stretch, rounding forward. You could go even as far out as this, or this, or this. So I think today I'm gonna find this, and I'm gonna bring some blankets, some pillows underneath me. I personally really like exploring this shape with a little bit more of a flat back, but with the emphasis on my inner thighs, the groin. I'm going to start the timer. Let's just do 3 minutes here. Let's test it out and see. As soon as you can, relax through your legs, your hips, your seat, and your feet. Maybe you've got your arms extended forward. Maybe you're really kind of folding in. Make sure you're finding an expression in your shoulders and your upper back that really frees some stuck energy out of the upper spine. Allow yourself to relish in this stillness with yourself. A lot of people are doing a lot of great stuff. You're still at work and you're really putting yourself out there and you're helping others, and that's amazing. Or you're inside and you're not doing much, and you might be really plugging into online platforms, or having really good conversations with the people you live with, or maybe talking on the phone a lot. Think of all of that effort, all of that energy that we pour out of ourselves. Let the next 90 seconds be just for you. Pour it in. Pour that cup of energy back into you. Come out of this shape so gently. the last thing we're going to do is lay down. And so I already know, I want to make a little pillow for myself for my head. You might even use your hands to kind of lift your legs here. And I like a little cushion underneath my knees, but you might be doing just this, feet on the floor, knees together, or you might not need the pillow. You're welcome to place your hands anywhere on yourself as a reminder to stay within your experience here. Let's do 3 minutes here in Shavasana. Yin is a practice often where we are already on the ground, right? We do spend so much longer in shapes, so I'll do 3 minutes collective stillness here for us. I'm going to play some of my singing bowls. If the sound ever starts to get too intense, or you're simply like, you know what, I'm good, I'm just going to lay here, or I'm going to fall asleep, or whatever it is, you're welcome to turn off the video or close your computer at any point, allowing yourself to really sink into a comfortable shape wherever you are. Maybe you're in a seated meditation, maybe you're lying down. Soften your eyes, your face, your torso, your limbs, from the pelvis down to the feet, from the shoulders out to the hands. Let your body relax. Relax your breath. If you're still in a reclined position, begin to come back so gently. Take a bigger breath. Open your hands, sweep your feet. Roll the shoulders, rock the head. You might pull your knees into your chest, or stretch your arms overhead. Any way that you want to wake up. We'll wake up. And then as promised, I'd love to end this practice with with breath of fire, a kind of energizing breath. And it's optional, of course. You can always turn this off. So if you are in this state of like, whew, that was just what I needed, I'm good, I'm going to go to bed, or I'm going to go, be in a semi-social situation now, in a relaxed state, great. If you need a little bit more alertness, if you're looking for a little bit more of a spark, typically this practice is done hips to heels, and I like to bring a little cushion between my butt and the floor, but you can also do this seated, cross-legged. It's really up to you. So come into a seat. I hide my books over here. Placing your hands down, face down on your thighs for grounding. It's an interesting exercise. It's a snapping of your diaphragm in and up. And that's the movement that causes the exhale. So this is kind of what it looks like. And I've seen people do this through the nose and through the mouth. I think today we're just going to relax the jaw and go. So it's a breath where the inhale happens on its own, and the exhale is really the force that we're creating. What you do, lick your lips, swallow, relax the shoulders. I'll count 60 of them. If you get halfway through, great. No big deal. We're going to do 60 together. Then we'll seal it off. Start with an exhale. Empty, empty, empty. Inhale halfway. And begin. Third of the way there. Two-thirds. You got this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale everything out. Squeeze your stomach, your lungs empty. Breath, breath, breath out. Inhale. Hold at the top. Sip in through your nose once. In through your mouth once. Hold it. Feel that energy rise and swell. Hold it for as long as you can. As you exhale, imagine a cork being popped out the crown of your head. Bringing your hands in Swaha Mudra in front of the heart. This is a mudra of connection and joy. Now that we've watered ourselves from the inside, we've kind of spent that time nurturing from the inside, observing the subtleties. Now you might be ready to go back out. So hopefully this video, this yoga gave you energy, gave you a sense of calm and peace that we all have deep inside. I just want to have a moment to say thank you. Thank you for watching these videos, and thank you for sharing them, and thank you for plugging into yourself right now. That's just what I want to share so much, is our ability and the urgency to give back to yourself. And in a way, by giving back to yourself, right, we create that space, we create the energy we need to give back to the others, give back to the earth, and give back to those who really need it right now. So one more breath together. Exhaling out. Inhaling from the earth. Gratitude, love, peace. Exhale it out. Namaste. I'll do a more fiery flow tomorrow. See you soon.